Welcome back to LA Fishguys. We're in the midst of breaking down a 300-gallon living reef tank and replacing it with a 400-gallon fish-only system. We've disassembled the stand in kind of a destructive manner, as that's what it took to get the tank and everything out of there. In fact, the tank is sitting right back here. Here's that big reef tank, and you can see that sitting out in the sun has not done it any good. That was the original crack. This one here has developed since. This one here has developed since, as well as this. And I believe these are actually working their way down into the front panel. So this tank is really worthless to us now, although chances of reselling it I thought were kind of slim to begin with. But part of the job was just removing all of that old equipment for him. Speaking of equipment, there's also the livestock. And I do have to admit, I feel a little bit bad about this, but that was the live rock that was in the tank. And I have absolutely no place to keep it, and certainly no new jobs to take it to. So I had to kind of let it dry out. It'll serve as foundation rock for another application down the road, but it was kind of a sad thing to lose all that life. And of course, those 3 boxes down below are all the live sand. And to give you an idea of the size of the new tank in comparison to the old tank, this being the old tank, we had to have a template made of the new tank, the footprint of that tank, so we could give to our cabinet guy so he can start making that as well. I have that template here. We actually had to empty the entire van just to be able to get the template to fit inside there. This template, again, is the bottom of the tank that's being made, and we've gotten this template to take to our cabinet guy so that he can make the stand and the canopy conform to this specific curve here. This template, or tank should I say, will also have a trapezoid overflow. It'll have returns in each one of the corners, plus a suction for that internal circulation pump. So let's get this delivered, and hopefully in about 4 weeks the cabinet guy will be helping me deliver the stand and the canopy, and we can go ahead and install it.
Big tank, Jim.
It sure is. So meet Jim Sandifer of Sandifer Construction. He's our cabinet maker, and he's going to be building this big Bowfront stand and canopy for us. So what do you think, Jim?
I think this is a massive tank that's going to require some serious structural thought and engineering.
That's for sure.
It's a heavy sucker. You figure about 8 pounds for every gallon.
Yeah.
And we're looking at about 4,200 pounds.
Wow.
And so we're going to have to think about some serious structural issues. As long as we got to think about earthquake and other things and maintenance and bulkheads, there's a lot to it.
Oh yeah.
It's not something I would recommend to a beginner to do.
Right.
You know, we're going to use a lot of hard maple for structural issues.
Aha, hardwoods then, okay.
It's all hardwoods.
Okay.
You know, we'll have an oak face frame and oak doors.
Right.
You know, there's a lot to think about when you design such a thing. We got bulkheads, we got overflows, stand pipes. Also, we got to think about maintenance.
Yes.
You know, you're the one that has to service this thing, so we have to design the top,
right,
design the canopy, design the base, so you can service it correctly.
And I learned a long time ago that if it's not convenient to do something, chances are it won't get done.
And it won't work correctly.
That's
it
right.
Causes trouble.
So,
and the other thing too is there's no pressed wood. You know, we need to recommend to all your viewers that we should not use any pressed wood. Never use pressed wood with water. Because
you expose it to water and it swells and it just falls apart.
It'll double its size. I always recommend a plywood, a good staved core plywood, which is basically a 6-ply laminate that's glued, and you know, it'll last a long time.
Well,
longer than the tank, most likely.
That's what we want. That's what we want.
Yeah. And so that's our thought process on this, and we're working on the design, Jim and I. And I'm sure this thing will look pretty good by the time we're done.
So you figure maybe 4 weeks, and I did back up more to the middle of February.
Yeah, I'd say about 4 weeks.
Okay.
You know, there is a special color of laminate she wants on it, and just kind of give it that standout look. But I would love to have a tank this size.
You can get down and swim in that, can't you?
Yeah, I'm swimming. That's a good sized tank. Very impressive. Be fun to build. I'll enjoy it. It's something different from kitchen cabinets and entertainment centers, and, all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
So it's it'll be great when it's all done. I'm looking forward to it. Challenging.
Yes.
So is my cabinet guy a total kook or a weird fish guy? Here's a glimpse into his aquarium stand build-out.
Okay, here we are. We're with the process of building a 490-gallon Bowfront aquarium stand. It's approximately going to hold 4,000 pounds. It's 8 feet long and 42 inches deep at its deepest point. And it's 40 inches tall. And we used hard maple for the supports. We didn't use oak. Oak is just the facade of it. But we used hard maple to support that kind of weight as opposed to steel. Most of the time they'll use steel to support this kind of weight. And when cutting this hard maple, it's really a dense product. As you can see here, I've got a piece here, and I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but see those burn marks? Even with the best table saw and a good blade, sometimes it just eats up your blades. It's the same thing they make baseball bats out of. So we're also doing that, and we got some vents on the side which aren't in. There's a top and then a canopy as well. I'm in the process of putting the vents together. Not as good as Jim is with his camera, but do the best that I can. Just kind of give you an idea of what's going on during the build. These are the vents and process. If you look here, we actually dado them in and everything. It's quite a process just to make the vents. It's a fun build. It's better that it's fun because it's not just your standard kitchen cabinet and vanity and entertainment center, etc. So I really have a lot of fun doing these kind of things. Try to give you a top view of what it looks like. Of course, there's no lacquer or anything on it. I just wanted to show you what the process looks like and what it takes. Thank you.
Well, good morning. It's Friday. We're ready to do the big installation, or at least start on it. Jim has got the cabinet or the stand and the canopy here on a trailer. We're going to be delivering it to the customer's location this morning, where the couple of guys are going to show up and help us carry it inside the house, and then later on this afternoon they'll deliver the tank, which will carry that into the house tomorrow morning when the rest of the guys get here. So it looks like things are just about ready to happen.
Tropical Fish Hobbyist magazine has been the authoritative source for aquarium keepers since the first legendary issue rolled off the presses in 1952. With informative articles month after month about the fascinating world of freshwater aquariums, saltwater setups, paludariums, ponds, and more, illustrated in crisp detail by the world's top aquatic photographers. TFH covers it all. And now, with subscriptions starting at $13.95 and a mobile digital edition you can take with you wherever you go, TFH is your ultimate resource for all things aquatic. When in Los Angeles, make it a point to stop in Long Beach, California at Age of Aquariums, 2642 Cherry Avenue, just off the 405 freeway near Signal Hill. At Age of Aquariums, their knowledgeable staff showcases designer aquariums featuring colorful corals and exotic fish, a spectacular four-sided 500-gallon living coral reef, along with a wide selection of coral frags and a large selection of saltwater fish, the cute, the graceful, and the not-so-cute. Age of Aquariums also carries a selection of popular freshwater fish for the beginning hobbyist. Along with a full line of aquarium supplies and supplements, Age of Aquariums quarantines and medicates all their new fish and proudly provides LA and Orange County's largest aquarium maintenance service. Age of Aquarium is located at 2642 Cherry Avenue, just off the 405 freeway near Signal Hill. Open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday and 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. For more information, dial 562-438-6252 or visit ageofaquariums.biz.
Hi there, my name's Jim Stein and you know me as the LA Fish Guy. Well, I also wear a couple of other hats. One of them is the jellyfish tank called the Jelly Aquarium, and the third is myfishtank.com. I offer an entire line of acrylic aquariums ranging from rectangular to hexagon, flatback hex, as well as the custom curve front aquariums. There's also an entire line of stands and canopies ranging from MDF to pine to oak with a variety of different finishes available. And the website is even smart enough that you can calculate what the freight and crate charges to your location will be. That's myfishtank.com.
So with the arrival of the stand and canopy, we waste no time getting it moved into the house. I made it a point this time to hire some strong fellows to help carry in the stand today and the tank tomorrow morning.
Good job, fellas. Man, that was hard carrying that camera.
Oh my God! Thank you. I got a finger booster.
Okay, so we got the stand and the canopy moved into the house. I did have the homeowner check the, just to make sure the stain or the look of the stand is what she wanted. And all along, I have to admit, I somewhere along the lines, I think somebody misinterpreted something or misunderstood something. That's a little on the pink side. And the homeowner took a look at it, and that was the first comment out of her mouth, was it seemed to be a little on the pink side. If you look at the rest of the stuff in the house, it doesn't have that pink look. So I'm a little concerned that we may end up at the last minute changing the stain in the stand. But for now, we'll just keep moving forward as planned.
And it's all about moving forward, right?
Okay, what you haven't seen before was there was a depression here in the marble floor that we have to shim up a little bit before we can place the stand on there. And that's what Jim is working on right now.
Yeah, just some scraps from the shop, you know.
To fill in the depression there?
Yeah, so we just disperse some of the weight. It's not really structural, it's just there to disperse it a little bit.
Okay.
Instead of just having it around the perimeter of this, tile, you know, potentially crack it.
Right.
I don't want to do any of that.
And that's where the old tank sat against the wall. And then there's the electrical that we're going to replace here sometime today. Those outlets have been in there for at least 14 years, probably a little corroded with salt moisture, so we're going to replace those.
So you can't say I didn't warn you. I did ask you earlier if you thought he was a kook or just a weird fish guy. I think we're starting to get an idea.
You with that? It's about time you did something around here. Been acting like a boss. Going to ruin it by turning that stupid thing
So
on.
tell us what you're doing here.
I'm getting ready to go home. This guy hasn't fed me. I'm doing all the work. He's running all the cameras. That's all he does. And then barks. Well, how come you're not done yet? I have no idea what I'm doing here. He offered me 20 bucks, picked me up at Home Depot. I'm filling in the floor. And hopefully I can get you to do something besides play with that camera all day. No, just trying to fill it in. The floor is a little out of pitch. That side actually goes up, so I actually am going from 1.25 inches to 2.25 to 2.5 on that side. And maybe we'll just throw some water underneath. That ought to help.
Yes, sir. It's certainly one thing to go pick up a cabinet from the cabinet maker guy. It's another thing to actually work with the cabinet maker
look at it.
guy.
You threw that tip in there. That explains why it was not level. I'm gonna have to charge you extra for this one because it's clear.
As it happens, Jim Sandifer of Sandifer Construction is my cabinet maker for my Jelly Aquarium line.
There you go. Good job. That's perfect.
This will be my first experience of working with him side by side,
Double check everything.
and it's certainly proving interesting.
Oh yeah, squish it down. It feels like my underwear. Yes, it does.
God, you're nasty.
I know. Okay, so we're a little low. That's fine. I'd rather have it low than too high, right? Okay, we're gonna let that sit. I'll stick some screws in it. And you missed a nail too in your removal. If I've got to remove that, I'm gonna have to charge you extra. You're lucky I couldn't remove it.
I'm sure that you've already figured it out, as there was a depression where the old aquarium system used to sit. They ran the marble right up to the edge, and then there was some old press wood that sat or supported the foundation of the previous system. We removed that when we took the old aquarium system out. Jim is now filling that area in and leveling it off so that we'll have even support all the way under the new aquarium.
Better than what?
Pouring concrete
Oh, yeah.
because we have too many height issues and
I didn't want to get
then
involved
the
in
mess
pouring that. And
and-
there was a time frame to wait for it to cure or dry, so.
right, and then the mess it creates. You know,
Yeah.
for what this is, it's fine.
And now that we've created a solid and level foundation for the aquarium, we can slide the stand over and begin to replace the electrical outlets. Be sure to come on back for part 2 as my cabinet guy shows us just how much of
Is
a
that
kook
necessary?
a fish guy can actually be.